If you had Bhayshul Tuten as one of your favourite sleepers in this draft at the running back position, he is a sleeper no more. Tuten just absolutely broke the combine with the fastest 40 time and the highest vertical leap of any running back. And the big question is, can this translate to the field? Let me tell you to start off, it absolutely does. Some of the bigger issues with his game come down to the more intangible things: vision, patience, and dancing behind the line of scrimmage. If you enjoy this content, please consider liking and subscribing. But let's take a little bit of a deep dive into the running back who just killed the combine. The first thing that you notice on film when you watch Tuten is that explosive straight line speed. He is an absolutely dominant athlete, and this is something that we knew before the combine. But seeing him run the fastest 40 of any running back just laid the foundations for what we'd already seen on film. It is not just his athleticism, but it is straight line speed. Once he is going, he is so difficult to catch. So it was great to see that reiterated and have the rest of the community start to see the same things that we'd already been seeing on film. The other thing that I think is very important about him is that his hips are very fluid, which means that he has good change of direction as well, allowing him to make swift cuts and turn with speed. So it's not just someone who is straight line fast, but then very inflexible and unable to turn when they're on the move, but someone that can make moves out in space, juke, cut behind the line of scrimmage, and show a little bit more agility to their game as well as just straight line speed. I also think that this particularly shows up with his ability to beat defenders to an edge. I think if you can get him running outside, particularly in an outside zone running scheme, he has an incredible ability to just beat a linebacker or a safety to get there, bend around the edge, and then once he gets going, you are not going to get him. I also think he is a really natural hands catcher. Now, he can sometimes struggle to extend outside of his frame, but particularly when he's taking passes out of the backfield in space, if you're having him on a swing route or even in a screen, he is a home run threat whenever he can secure the football. And I think he's definitely someone that can work on third downs. The other thing, and this is going to be really helpful for his future in the NFL, he showed a lot of production in the return game all throughout college. He is a special teams weapon, and this is going to help him get on the field with a role immediately to help prove himself, show that speed, and continue to work into the running game. However, as I hinted at the beginning of this video, he is not the perfect prospect, not by any means. The main thing that I saw him struggle with is vision behind the line of scrimmage. I think he doesn't have a great ability to spot the hole that's going to be open to him, and this leads to a myriad of issues. Partially that I think he is way too quick to bounce around outside. Now, I know that he knows that he can get to the outside, beat a defender, hit the edge, and find open space, but he showed a real hesitance to just follow a lead blocker. And offensive coordinators and head coaches are going to get very frustrated with someone that isn't running the play as designed. So this vision behind the line of scrimmage is very difficult. The other thing is that I don't think he shows a great amount of decisiveness when hitting a hole. I think this is part of his vision issues as well. But I think you see him dancing around behind the line of scrimmage a little bit too much. I would love to see him get north-south way quicker and just go straight at the hole that once he's seen that the space is there. I think it's all part of the same issue. He is a straight line speed merchant, but he's way too quick to bounce something outside rather than just following the play as designed. The other thing with him is that I think he works very well as a physical back, but he is relatively small. And I think if he plays this way in the NFL, trying to find contact rather than trying to get away from it, I think he's going to end up seeing a litany of problems, whether that's ball security or whether that's injury. I think he needs to find a way to run slightly less physically or put more weight into his legs, given the size that he is going to play at. So I think the physicality is good, but I think he takes way too much contact for when he hits the big leagues. In terms of playstyle comparison, I actually was caught between a couple. The first one I thought of was Jalen Warren, in terms of someone that's explosive in space, great out of the backfield, but probably not got the size to play all three downs. But I ultimately ended up going for J.K. Dobbins, and particularly early J.K. Dobbins, when he was an explosive home run threat who also showed a great ability to catch out of the backfield. I'm not sure I believe in Tuten's ability to be a 3-down workhorse at the next level. I just don't think he has the physicality for it, and I think he's going to be relatively scheme specific because I think he's incredible at hitting the edge, but if you're trying to run him between the tackles, I'm not sure it's going to work. But I see some of that early Dobbins explosivity, home run threat, and great receiving ability in his game. In terms of draft capital, if I'd recorded this video a week ago, it would have been lower. I would have said early day 3. But after killing the combine, I think he probably sneaks his way into day 2. I still think 3rd round rather than 2nd, but I think he's definitely earned his place being taken on the 2nd day of the draft. Draft capital discussion is relatively difficult. I have him towards the back of the 2nd, but I think after an overreaction to the combine, he is sneaking his way up boards. I've even seen some chatter on social media about Tuten going all the way in the 1st round. Now, I like him as a prospect. He's definitely in the top 10 running backs for me, but that is far too rich. There are quite a few other running back prospects that I prefer, like RJ Harvey, a fair few others, and he's definitely outside of that consensus top 5. So if he does go that high, I'm going to be completely out. If I can get him to the middle and back of the 2nd, I'm perfectly happy with that cost for a running back that I think has a fair amount of upside when he hits the NFL, especially in the receiving game. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing and checking out all of the other rookie profiles available on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.